I've had the privilege of being an observer and having a terrific vantage point over what I think is one of the most interesting side stories of China's rise as a global economic leader, and that's been the emergence of China as a truly leading technology innovator, which it really has, I think, profound implications beyond just the technology marketplace. So this may surprise you that I talk about China as an innovator. For many years, people have thought of China as a copycat, and in fact, that was very much the case, as the highest return on both human and financial capital for many years for Chinese companies was to copy models for the internet developed in the West and apply them to China. So you saw the rapid rise of the Google of China in a company called Baidu. You saw the rise of the YouTube of China in a company called Youku. You saw a company called Xiaomi very consciously model itself after Apple and build itself up into a very strong local player. You saw the Facebook of China emerge with a company called Renren and others. So you've seen a very conscious effort to copy models in the West and bring them to China, and it's been hugely financially successful for many of the market trend practitioners. But in the last 4 or 5 years, something has profoundly changed, and it's really interesting and has very powerful implications. And that is that there's been such intense domestic competition in China that these companies have been forced to innovate independently. And so we've seen a really dramatic change to where now these major Chinese companies are no longer looking elsewhere to learn what to do next. They're doing it themselves. And so now in China, a company like Tencent or Weixin has the most robust messaging platform available anywhere in the world. It enables you to connect via voice, video, to tell your stories to your friends, and to transact in very complex and interesting ways. You can find out where your friends travel, look at it, get reviews on it, learn about rent a tour, all very simply through just clicks on your cell phone. You can't do that anywhere else in the world. You have a company called, this company that was a copycat originally, Youku Tudou now. They have by far the most advanced IPTV platform available anywhere in the world. Another very interesting company called YY. They've developed a whole new category of social entertainment and engagement on the internet where people really can perform live, and they've also solved some incredibly challenging technical problems where you can bring as many as 1 million people simultaneously to a single channel on the public internet. You can't do that anywhere else in the world. And there's been all kinds of business model innovations around virtual items, and the list goes on and on. It's a very, very robust list. So you're really seeing the realization, at least in this area where this hyper competition exists, of a return to the kind of Joseph Needham tradition of China, which is, China was historically the great innovator of the planet for thousands of years, and that was very well documented by Joseph Needham. So I think this is a really interesting turnaround. You've got to fundamentally rethink the way you look at China today because it is emerging as a true leader. But what does this mean? To me, the most interesting thing is that with the creation of these great companies, you're going to see not only their rise domestically, but as they continue to want to grow, they're going to want to spread their wings and travel around the world and become global players. So whether it's Tencent or Alibaba or other great Chinese companies, they are increasingly going to come into the market. So all of us here in the United States are going to be engaging with these brands more. Because they will be offering the best products in the marketplace. But more importantly than that, perhaps, these entrepreneurs are becoming global citizens. And so you're creating this massive class of global Chinese citizens who are engaging with the world in a very robust way, bringing back all their insights back to China, and really engaging China with the world in a way that comes invested with the pride of a nation. So it has to be supported by the government and by the people because these are the greatest companies that the country is emerging, and then they're communicating and engaging the world. And what they're fundamentally doing is around communication and around engaging people through communication channels that are creative and new. So to me, this is very powerful in that it's really expanding the sinews of knowledge transfer that occur between countries. And I think this really brings to you that great liberal hope, which was best perhaps said by the French philosopher Montesquieu, which is that knowledge makes us gentle. Thank you.